Maybe it's Crumbl. Maybe it's Dollar Tree. Hello everybody and welcome back. I think we're gonna have some fun today. I want to try to recreate Crumbl cookies using only Dollar Tree ingredients. And it could be a fail, it could be a success. I've spent a lot of time looking up different recipes and watching a lot of videos, and I really hope that this goes well. We're gonna try to make a couple of different flavors of cookies and maybe do a couple of experiments along the way. So we're just gonna see how it goes, and I'm excited to take you guys along this journey with me. For anyone who is unaware of what Crumbl is a cookie brand, kind of a trendy cookie brand, and they charge $5 for one cookie, or you can get a 4-pack for $16. So they are quite expensive cookies. They're quite large and thick cookies, but still expensive cookies. So if we can recreate them at home using Dollar Tree ingredients for a fraction of the price, then I hope it gives you some ideas and inspiration for some fun desserts you can make at home, maybe with your kids, maybe as gifts for the holiday season. The first Crumbl cookie I'm going to try to make is a caramel apple cookie, and what inspired this one is these apple cider flavored muffin mixes. I wanted to find a fun way to use them. They're new at Dollar Tree as far as I can tell, and I thought it would be really fun to try to make some cookies out of them. So I looked up a couple of different ways to make cookies out of muffin mix, and we're gonna test it out and see if it works. And then of course what makes it the Crumbl cookie is that it's frosted, it's got a topping on it. So we're gonna have a lot of fun making some cookies today. So while I do have a mixer on the counter behind me, I do wanna address that because it has been mentioned in my comments before. I did get that mixer for free. I got it off of Craigslist. One of my friend's moms found it for free and she gave it to me. It was missing the bowl and the attachments, so I had to go out and purchase those. But otherwise the mixer itself was free. I do not use that whenever I'm making videos, especially when I'm making Dollar Tree videos, because I know that this is an expensive appliance that most people won't have. So we're gonna do this all either by hand or with an electric mixer. Now, of course, Dollar Tree doesn't sell butter, they do sell margarine. This is what they sell currently. It is the equivalent of 2 sticks of butter. We only need 1, so I'm gonna cut this in half. And mine just came out of the fridge, so I am gonna soften it in the microwave for about 10 to 15 seconds. I do have to run an extension cord because my mixer won't reach the outlet over there, but we are gonna cream our butter, or margarine. We're gonna cream our margarine. Next goes in 1 egg. And we're gonna mix this to combine as well. The mixture's not looking as smooth as I would have hoped. I think that's because of the margarine, but we're gonna try to mix in our muffin mix and see if it still works. I don't know how well 2 is gonna mix in here because I just mixed in 1 and it was pretty dry. Oops. But cookie mix is meant to be a little bit more on the dry side, so I think I'm gonna pull back in my mixer. All right, actually, yeah, that seemed to give us a really good cookie dough type of texture. Now, if you were making standard cookies, you could definitely bake this right away, but we are making Crumbl cookies, which are quite large and quite thick. So I need to cover this batter and refrigerate it for 1 to 2 hours. The cookie dough is chilled. My oven is preheating to 350. These gotta be some big cookies, so we're gonna need a big scoop. Baking sheet lined with parchment paper. And I'm gonna give them plenty of space. I'm only gonna put about 6 cookies on this tray. You want them to have about 3 inches between each cookie. I guess we're just gonna see how this goes. I'm gonna bake these at 350 for about 12 to 14 minutes. While the cookies are baking, I'm gonna prepare the frosting and the topping. I have a jar of cream cheese frosting. Which I'm thinking is more than I'm going to need. So I'm probably only gonna actually use about half of it. So So I'm gonna say about 3/4 of a cup of cream cheese frosting. And I got the caramel dip because I thought it would be better for the frosting because it is thick. It is a dip, it does not pour. I think this caramel sauce is quite loose. I've never bought this one before. Yeah, this one is more of a sauce or a syrup, which would be good for like making coffees. I'm gonna go ahead and try this just because I've never had it before. Yeah, it's okay. I kind of figured. I've had their chocolate sauce before and their stuff kind of has a bit of a funny aftertaste. But this caramel dip's good. I've used it before. You can really use either. I just thought that the caramel dip would be nice because it wouldn't affect the consistency of the frosting. I'll probably add in about 2 tablespoons of my caramel. And time to give that a whip. Let's set that in the fridge until we're ready to frost our cookies. So my topping is gonna be these freeze-dried apple pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in a bag so I can crush them. And then my Dollar Tree does not sell graham crackers, but they do have these graham cracker crusts. So I got one that looked like it had seen better days because I don't think anyone's gonna buy it for the intention of making a pie, but I can use it as graham cracker crumbs essentially. Yeah, it's quite broken, but it should make some nice crumb topping for our cookies. So now as soon as our cookies are baked and cooled, we are ready to assemble them. Cookies are out of the oven, and I've personally never done this before, but apparently a lot of bakers tap their cookies to get them to crack, so I don't know if that worked or not, but we tried it. So I have already made my test cookie, and it turned out amazing, but I am definitely going to need more of this frosting mixture. These cookies are turning out so cute. I cannot wait to post this video. So to do the kind of signature crumble swirl, I have a Ziploc bag with a little corner snipped off. And I'm just gonna start from the center and just pipe a swirl of icing out to the edge. Does not have to be perfect. Give it a crumble of graham cracker on top and a couple of little chunks of the freeze-dried apple. And I'm going to repeat that process for all 8 of my cookies. They are absolutely adorable, and I feel like they look like Crumbl Cookies from Dollar Tree. I'm gonna set these in the fridge to let the icing kind of develop a crust so it's not so loose, and then we'll come back to do a taste test. I feel like this was a great attempt at my first Crumbl cookie. We were trying to recreate the look of the Crumbl cookie. I have never had their caramel apple cookie, so I have nothing to compare to. I don't spend $5 on cookies, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys don't as well. I do think what I'm gonna end up doing is making 4 different flavors and bringing them to my local food pantry to give away to the patrons and the volunteers. Otherwise, yeah, because if that made 8 cookies and I make 4 different flavors, I'm gonna have 32 cookies and I can't eat 32 cookies. But we can go and try this one. This is the caramel apple, and let's give it a try. That tastes amazing, and I am so happy to learn how to make cookies with muffin mix because that opens up the cookie flavor possibilities, like so many possibilities. And it is like sort of a hybrid texturally between a cookie and a cake. So it's not like as crispy as say a chocolate chip cookie. It is a little bit more chewy, a little bit more dense than a normal cookie. But the flavors are there. The caramel apple really shines through, a little bit of crunch from those freeze-dried apples and the graham crackers on top. This is so good. I'm really excited to make some more Crumbl cookies. I don't know which one I'm gonna do next, but I guess we'll figure that out. So I think my second Crumbl cookie is going to be a s'mores cookie, which from what I'm reading appears to just kind of be a chocolate chip cookie base with graham cracker crumbs, which is a good way for me to use up the rest of the crumbs from the caramel apple cookies, and then it's topped with a broiled marshmallow and some chocolate drizzle. So much of this process is going to be the same as the last cookie, so I won't go into too much detail, but since we're also using a lot of the same ingredients, like the other half of the margarine, the egg, the leftover graham cracker crumbs, that makes the second cookie a lot cheaper than the first. Starting with my margarine, let me soften this to room temperature. And I'm gonna cream this one just like before. This cookie dough actually doesn't call for an egg, but I'm gonna go ahead and add one in just because I think it's going to make a difference with the texture of the cookies. I totally forgot to hit record, but I added in 2 bags of my chocolate chip cookie mix, and I added in 1 cup of my graham cracker crumbs. We're gonna mix this together and make a mess everywhere in the process. That's super important when you're making cookies. And since we added in the graham cracker crumbs, I do feel like this could use a small splash of water. The cookie dough does call for water in place of the egg. Since I added in the egg, I'm just gonna add in like a tablespoon of water. Now we have a perfect little cookie dough texture. I feel like I could even potentially add a little bit more graham cracker crumbs to this. I'll save a little bit of crumbs because maybe I can put those on the cookies after they have baked. I'm gonna set this in the fridge and let it chill for 2 hours. In the meantime, I gotta run to Dollar Tree and get some marshmallows and some chocolate syrup. I should get about 8 cookies out of this, giving them plenty of space. It looks like I might even get more out of this one, which is interesting because the cookie dough ounces are about the same amount. I mean, I guess I did add some extra volume with that extra cup of graham crackers. So looks like I'm gonna get about 9 out of this batch. Oven is preheating to 350. I'm gonna bake these for 14 minutes. That's how long it took the last batch to cook, was 14 minutes exactly. While my cookies are baking, I'm gonna prep the marshmallows. I need to cut, so I have 9 cookies. I need a marshmallow for each of them, but each marshmallow needs to be cut in half. So I need 18 total marshmallow halves. After 14 minutes, these come out of the oven. Apparently you turn off the oven and you turn on the broiler. Stick 2 halves of a marshmallow on top of each cookie. I feel like some of them could even use 3, but I'm just gonna do 2. And then these go back in under the broiler for just like a minute or 2, just to brown up the marshmallows. I gotta stand here and keep an eye on them and make sure they don't burn. I'm actually even gonna set a 2-minute timer just to make sure. And that's what our cookies are looking like. That took a minute and a half to get them brown on top. So I'm gonna let these cool completely before we move on to the next step. We need to prepare a chocolate drizzle. Dollar Tree does not have a very good chocolate syrup, but they do have a really good hazelnut spread. And in the past, I have learned that if you heat this up with a little bit of water, you get a really lovely chocolate sauce. Did about 2 tablespoons of the hazelnut spread and about a half a tablespoon of water. I'm gonna microwave this for 30 seconds. So if you don't add enough water, it will turn into a mess. But now we've got a nice, thick, glossy chocolate sauce. Transfer into a bag for drizzling when I am ready. These are a little wonky looking, but that's okay. But what it looks like and what it tastes like should not correlate to one another. Chocolate sauce and our final touch of the graham cracker spread. So Ziploc baggie, we're gonna work pretty quickly here so it looks pretty. Let's do the next one better. Need to get out the air. There we go. All right, we good now? All right, drizzle of chocolate sauce. Okay, that instantly made them look cuter. And then we have to sprinkle on some of our graham cracker crumbs before the chocolate is set, so it sticks to the chocolate. I love making little fun desserts. I'm sorry, I'm just in my element here. I'm so excited. I'm gonna set these in the fridge to try to let that chocolate firm up a little bit so that I can handle them better. Doesn't that just look so adorable? So S'more Cookie was a success. Very rich and very sweet, but delicious, especially as like a little treat. I do personally wish I had put 3 marshmallow halves on top just so there was extra marshmallow. The marshmallow's not like rubbery or hard, like it's still very soft and fluffy. So this one was a total success. I'm curious to know if that same technique will work with brownie mix as it did with muffin mix. So I have a box here of the Pillsbury chocolate fudge brownie mix, and I think we're gonna do a peanut butter chocolate like Buckeye brownie cookie. I did have to buy some more margarine because when I started this video, I didn't intend to make 4 different flavors. So I had to go to Dollar General and get some more margarine. But this is the same stuff that Dollar Tree sells. This is just in the single stick form versus the large stick form. And pretty much everything else is going to be the same. I think that the trick to this is ratios because each of these bags of muffin mix was 7 ounces. So they had a couple of different options as far as brownie mix goes, but I picked this one because it was almost 13 ounces. So it's about equivalent to 2 of the bags of muffin mix. So it should be the right ratio of dry goods to wet goods. And I feel like you could also do the same with cake mix as well, which is probably going to be my next cookie. We shall see. I'm trying to do 4 really unique cookies. So in goes my brownie mix. So this one is looking a little bit more loose, but it should be fine once it is chilled and refrigerated. Fun fact about me, back when I was in my early 20s, I thought that I wanted to be a baker or to open a bakery with no bakery experience. I have never worked at a bakery. I just thought it would be fun to open a bakery, and it's laughable now because I know first and foremost that I do not have the prowess to wake up that early every day and work the hours that bakers work. So props to anybody who is a baker or works in a bakery because you guys are better than me. And interestingly enough, it looks like this one is only gonna make about 6. I might be able to get a 7th cookie out of that. But I think it's interesting how all of the, kind of volumes of measurements are the same, but each of them is making a different amount of cookies. Yeah, like I just scraped that. I can only make 6. So let's go ahead and bake these, 350 for 14 minutes. Oh, I don't think you guys are ready for the disaster that just unfolded with those brownie cookies, because that did not work. Not at all. My brownie cookies turned into a single mass of brownie cookie. Yay! So brownie cookies, they don't really work. This was fun. Moving on. The 4th cookie is going to be a strawberry cheesecake cookie, and now I couldn't find anything like this from Crumbl, so this one's kind of going to be one of my own creations in a sense. I'm sure that they have similar ones, but because their inventory changes every single week, it's hard for me to find historical cookies, basically. I did find a couple of websites that had a list of everything, so I tried to find something similar, but everything else is going to be the same. And for this one, we are using 1 box of strawberry cake mix. This one is 15 ounces. So again, we're close to the 14 ounce range. I love strawberry cake, so I definitely wanted to try to work this in somehow. Here's to hoping that the strawberry cake mix cookies will turn out a little bit better. So the cake mix is also actually quite sticky. My scoop is not really liking some of these stickier mixes, but I did get 8 cookies out of that one. So just gonna see how they bake up. 350, 14 minutes. This is really quickly turning into an episode of Will It Cookie, and that was not my intention, but I'm kind of here for it. Here's the result of the cake mix cookies. I think they're okay. They're just a little, like, textured, I guess. They do seem a little, like, crumbly, too. I wonder if I should have baked these a little bit longer. But they seem okay. There was one that I kind of rolled by hand rather than just scooping it. And I feel like that one turned out better, but they're all actually still kind of doughy. I feel like I should put them back in the oven. So I've baked these a little bit longer, and I do think that they're cooked all the way through, but overall, I'm just kind of meh about the way that they look. So the cake mix is okay, and I think it probably would have been fine. Maybe I just needed to shape them a little bit better, because some of them are good and some of them are not good. Brownie mix did not work. Muffin mix, fantastic. That one worked really, really well. And of course, cookie mix, because it's cookie mix. But yeah, I need to come up with a couple of other flavors then. I guess we can go ahead and try the cake mix cookie just to see what it tastes like and what the texture is like. The texture is really nice. It's got a nice crisp to it. The strawberry flavor tastes much like strawberry at all, so that's kind of disappointing. But it was worth a shot. A couple of setbacks, but nothing we can't handle. Let's try an easy one. We're gonna do a snickerdoodle cupcake, which is one of their current flavors of this week. For this one, I'm going to be using 2 bags of sugar cookie mix. So what we have learned is that if we're recreating Crumbl cookies with only Dollar Tree ingredients, cookie mix or muffin mix are the bases that we need, and then we can add things to them to make them more identical to Crumbl cookies. For this one, we're going to be adding a ½ teaspoon of cinnamon into the dough. While our cookies chill, we've got to mix up some cinnamon sugar topping. So 3 tablespoons of sugar and 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. And to prep our sugar cookies, I'm going to take a scoop of my sugar cookie dough. And I'm going to dunk it in the cinnamon sugar topping just on one side because I don't want the sugar on the bottom to caramelize and make the bottom of the cookie taste like burnt sugar. And then for these, we're also going to go ahead and press them down slightly because sugar cookies have a tendency to not spread like other cookies do. So you want them to be about 3/4 of an inch thick. These snickerdoodle cupcake cookies are gonna be so easy to finish. I did end up with 8, but one of them's kind of small. So that one's gonna be my taste test. And all you're gonna need is cream cheese frosting and the cinnamon sugar from the cookies. Snippy snip of the corner, and time to start piping on our swirls. I feel like I should have did a slightly bigger corner though. Oh, that one was cute. Okay, we're getting the hang of it. And if you don't want to swirl them, I'm just gonna use a spoon. And it will still be cute. And they have like a shaker for this, but I'm just gonna sprinkle on some of this cinnamon sugar right over top of the frosting. And there is my snickerdoodle cupcake Crumbl cookie. It's hard to imagine that a sugar cookie or a snickerdoodle cookie topped with cream cheese frosting and cinnamon sugar is gonna be bad. I love it. Now, moving on to the 4th and final Crumbl cookie. I never thought I'd say this, but I am kind of tired of making cookies, but we're gonna keep chugging along. We have one more to make. And I did go to Dollar Tree. I actually went to 3 different stores looking for this peanut butter cookie mix. My Dollar Tree was out, my Dollar General was out, CVS didn't carry it, and I ended up having to go to Food Lion. So this is a double-sized bag. It was all they had of the peanut butter cookie mix. So if you're shopping at Dollar Tree or anywhere else, you'll need 2 of the small bags. Otherwise, I'm gonna be using 1 of the big bags. And the instructions on this bag are different because this one calls for oil, water, and an egg versus margarine or butter as most of the cookie mixes do. So I looked up the difference between oil and butter, and it basically says that because oil is 100% fat, whereas whereas like butter or margarine is a mixture of fat and water, it says that the oil doesn't react with flour the way that butter does, and it creates cookies that are more flat and more dense. So that is why this calls for oil and not butter, and so that's some logic I can get behind. So we're gonna make these according to the package instructions. 1 large bag or 2 small bags of peanut butter cookie mix, 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 1 tablespoon of water, and an egg. This one's gonna be a Reese's cup, so peanut butter cookie base, and then it's gonna be topped with peanut butter and Reese's cups. And because they're peanut butter cookies, they're really not gonna spread much in the oven. So we kind of have to shape them to look like what we want them to look like before we bake them. Realizing that this would be easier if I just press them down with my hand. Got some Reese's cups here. This is the 5-pack you can get at Dollar Tree, and we're just gonna cut these into little bits. Actually, not much of a peanut butter fan, and I'm not much of a peanut butter cookie fan, but I'm making these for other people, so my preferences don't really matter much here. Now what ended up happening here certainly is not ideal. I have 2 really good cookies and then the 6 kind of spread into each other. Now as far as these go, they're just gonna get a spread of peanut butter on the top and a couple of chunks of peanut butter cup. And that is the 4th and final Crumbl cookie. This one is the peanut butter cup. I did make it out to Crumbl so I could buy a box for 50 cents. And with that being said, there are all 4 of my Dollar Tree Crumbl cookies. I think I did a pretty good job of replicating some Crumbl cookies with Dollar Tree ingredients, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I hope you guys enjoyed this journey. A little bit of some trial and error there, but you know, we came out with some pretty successful cookies in the end, and overall, I'm super happy with it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you are having a fantastic day, and I will see you again soon.